Incoming transmission.
Good morning. You're listening to An Ignorant Point of View, a weekly news podcast. I'm your host, Final Boss. It's Friday, October 28th, and welcome to the inaugural episode, the very first episode, everybody. On today's docket, Trump on accepting election results, people in Hillary's campaign sending instigators, Michael Moore's Trumpland, Project Hemisphere, Foosey Tube, and alternate reality, and a little bit later, I wanted to talk about the Electoral College and morals and ethics. Getting right into it with Trump on accepting the election results. First, listen to this audio clip.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time. What I've seen is so bad. First of all, the media is so dishonest and so corrupt, and the pile-on is so amazing. The New York Times actually wrote an article about it that they don't even care. It's so dishonest, and they've poisoned the minds of the voters. But unfortunately for them, I think the voters are seeing through it. I think they're going to see through it. We'll find out on November 8th, but I think they're going to see through it.
But, sir, there's
if you look, excuse me, Chris, if you look at your voter rolls, you will see millions of people that are registered to vote. Millions. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from Pew Report and other places. Millions of people that are registered to vote that shouldn't be registered to vote. So let me just give you one other thing. So I talk about the corrupt media. I talk about the millions of people. Tell you one other thing. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime. She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged, because she should never have been allowed to run for the presidency based on what she did with emails and so many other things.
But, sir, there is a tradition in this country. In fact, one of the prides of this country is the peaceful transition of power, and that no matter how hard fought a campaign is, that at the end of the campaign, that the loser concedes to the winner. Not saying that you're necessarily going to be the loser or the winner, but that the loser concedes to the winner, and that the country comes together in part for the good of the country. Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris.
Then 2 days after that, he tried to elaborate a little bit more.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make a major announcement today. I would like to promise and pledge to all of my voters and supporters, and to all of the people of the United States, that I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win.
After that, he tried to elaborate a little bit more by saying, "This having nothing to do with me, but having to do with the future of our country. We have to have fairness. Of course, I would accept a clear and election result, but I would also reserve my right to contest or file a legal challenge in case of a questionable result. But you losing isn't a questionable result. If you think something sketchy is going on now, then you need to say something. Otherwise, what's the point in even running at this point if you think you're going to lose because the whole election's rigged? That doesn't make any sense at all. If you know there's cheating and you wait it out to see if you win anyway, you're just as bad as the cheaters. You're a cheater too. You were just seeing if it was rigged in your favor." And Trump's campaign manager came out and told CNBC that it would be insane to concede to an election result that had not been held yet. But here's the thing, Mr. Conway, we weren't asking him to concede right that very second. We were asking him, would he? Would he later on? Mr. Wallace even said,
Not saying that you're necessarily going to be the loser or the winner. You're necessarily going to be the loser or the winner. The loser or the winner.
I wish every time a politician was exposed for being like fake or contradictory or hypocritical, they had to answer for it publicly. They should have to answer for it right away. And they shouldn't beat around the bush. They should have to answer directly to the question. And it's not just Trump doing this. He's just been the most extreme case, I think. But honestly, Hillary's the same way. She avoids and dodges questions too. If you're confused, that's natural. All politicians are purposely confusing, but these two are just depressing. But the lesser of two evils is still pretty fucking evil, because it came out that Democrats sent agitators to Trump rallies supported by Hillary Clinton's campaign. And that's just sad. First, listen to this.
The media will cover it no matter where it happens.
I assume it's always in the rally.
Initiating the conflict by having leading conversations with people who are naturally psychotic.
What Fogle just said has to be one of the fucking scummiest things I've ever heard in my life. And in the same video, it's said that Hillary knew about it through chain of command. Hey Hillary, I have an idea for your campaign. Let's hire a bunch of people to go to Trump campaigns, find people with mental disorders, and bully them until they give you a response only a person with a mental disorder could give you. And this is sad because I honestly do believe that Hillary has better intentions as a presidential candidate than Trump. The thing is, Hillary, a bad deed done with good intentions is still a bad deed. And in related news, Michael Moore just released Trumpland. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. He doesn't just talk about Trump, he talks about Hillary, he talks about a whole bunch of issues. He makes it entertaining, and it's a fantastic film. There aren't a whole lot of political films that are also entertaining, and this does it so well. But honestly, I do think he was pandering a little bit for Hillary, which is okay. It was only a tiny bit. I mean, it could have even been in my imagination, and he did make a lot of good points. It was very reasonable. And in other news, AT&T is spying on Americans for profit with something called Project Hemisphere. And honestly, it's just what most Americans thought the government was doing to us to begin with. Hemisphere is a secretive program run by AT&T that searches trillions of call records and analyzes cellular data to determine where a target is located, with whom he speaks, and potentially why.
But boss, what does that mean?
Well, it means since 2013, law enforcement agencies have been paying AT&T hundreds of thousands of dollars for private information. Although it started for drug investigations, law enforcement have always used it for any investigation they felt necessary, from theft to homicide. It also doesn't say anything about disclosing private information, only a promise from law enforcement not to disclose Hemisphere if the investigation using it becomes public. All in all, don't trust the phone company. On YouTube News, Colossus Crazy uploaded a video called FloozyTube, an alternate reality. Amazing video. But that's not even the story. The story is Floozy from FloozyTube, or FloozyTube itself, had ordered a copyright claim on that video and ordered it to be taken down. So it's down now, but if you haven't seen it, link in the description. If you don't know by now, this so-called creator fakes most of his content. And without going too deep into detail, this video basically calls him out on that. So fucking FloozyTube, since he doesn't like what the guy said about him, puts a copyright claim on the video and then takes the video down. If you haven't seen the video, do yourself a favor and please check it out. You'll never see a more entertaining video of a clown destroying a pile of rats. Links in the description. Also, my bad, the pile of rats name is not Floozy, but Foosey, and it's FoozyTube. My bad. The Electoral College has 435 representatives, 100 senators, and 3 electors for a grand total of 538 members. And all of those people are the ones who are voting for the president. These are the people who are choosing the leaders of this country. And even though it feels like only one giant suggestion box, I still want you to go out and vote. Even if it feels like a waste of time, it's still important to get your voice out there because you represent us. You represent America. Everyone's morals and ethics are different because they're based on our life experiences. Even when you take moral, ethical advice, that conversation was a life experience. So if you disagree with someone, try not to hate or get angry at them. Instead, try to change or fix the situation that made them think like that to begin with. Or if it's me you disagree with, you could always leave a comment and let me know what you think. This has been an ignorant point of view. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like if you like. Thank you, Lich, for the music. Links in the description, and I'll see you next time.